hit a button over here real quick. And yeah, the button has been clicked now. And what's going on, guys? Welcome to Nick's Picks Season 3 because I never hit record.
This better be a fucking bit.
It's not. I mean, it will be the intro now. If that makes you feel any better. Oh my god.
This the fucker right here. You know the saying, it's like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. That's me right now to you. It took till the last fucking video of this season for that to happen. And we've made jokes about it too. Like, oh, did you hit record? And every time, the one time, god damn it, dude.
What is going on, guys? Season 3 of Nick's Picks is coming to an end. It has been a long season, a great season, a season that ended with a 3-time champion, and I am joined one last time in Season 3 by Ben. Yeah, we've already done all of this, so yeah, I fucking forgot to hit record. I'm sorry, it fucking happens, alright? Not to smart people, but like to people like me, it happens, alright? That's all I have to say. How you doing, Ben?
You may have won 3 straight. I can at least hold this over you for about 5 minutes and just move on. But I'm good. Season's over. It's a long off season, I can tell you that.
So, obviously Season 3 is coming to an end, but Season 4 is probably just right around the corner. It's going to sneak up on us very quick. In between Season 3 and Season...
You said sneak up, I was like Jalen Hurts.
So obviously Season 3 is coming to an end, but Season 4 is most likely right around the corner. It is sneaking up on us quick. So I'm going to try to make some videos in between Season 3 and Season 4 on YouTube so that we don't just go blank on YouTube. Obviously, I do still stream here on YouTube once a week, or at least I try to. Hopefully you guys can join us for some of those streams, but yes, Season 4 will be right around the corner, but Season 3, it was a great season. We had a lot of things that we added this season. There were the wager picks that we tried. We tried.
We did.
You know what? We did them. Every week we did wager picks.
Once we're done here, I'm going to look at the stats.
Same with 2-point conversions. 2-point conversions were worse. Like, we were
awful
God,
I think, what did we say?
2-point conversions.
I think I
only got 2.
I think I got 4.
Or 3, all season.
And, our best.
And it was the first season ever in Nick's Picks history that neither of us got a score prediction right. All season long. Now, score predictions, that's a little tougher, obviously. And we didn't pick all of the games like we normally did in the first 2 seasons of Nick's Picks. We only picked our main 4 and then a 2-point conversion. So we only had 4 scores to go through each week. So the odds were down a little bit, and obviously those worked against us because neither of us got a score prediction right all season, including the Super Bowl score.
You did come very close a lot of times. I think you were a lot
of fucking times.
And a lot were by 1 point, or the score was flipped. What was it? When the Giants played the Commies, when they tied, you had, what was it, 27-24? And
23-20, and it was 20-20, and Graham Gano missed a field goal. Yeah, I missed a lot of games like that, or by 1 point, or something stupid like that, but yeah.
I was going to say, and one other new thing, I think this was your idea, if I remember correctly, was the 2 challenges, which I think...
Oh, yeah, the 2 challenges
we both won and lost one, I think, because...
Yes,
yeah,
I believe so.
Or no.
No, I won both.
No, you won both.
Sure.
You won both. I won one and lost one. So
yes, and could say that ended up being the difference. You could also say that you losing both AFC Championship and NFC Championship picks were the difference.
I think that was more it. I think that was more. Especially because you kind of gave it to me with the divisional, but
But regardless, thank you for watching Nick's Picks Season 3. All season long, but obviously with this Nick's Picks recap, we are going to go through a lot of different things. We're going to go through the Super Bowl picks, a couple other things along free agency, and then we'll give some early predictions for next season. So let's start it off with obviously Super Bowl 57, which capped off this weird year in the NFL all around. I think we even said it a few times during the season how weird of a year this really was. In our first recording, when we were recording this the first time, you mentioned how there were a lot of teams that just had easier schedules and easier rides to bigger games, and they weren't just able to live up to those big games.
Yeah, because like you look at like Minnesota, I mean, granted, yes, they were before the playoffs, they were 11-0 in one possession games, but the thing was, I think they didn't have really an easy schedule. I think they just got really lucky. The Lions had a better point differential than them, and the Lions were 9-8. Like I think the Vikings still had a negative point differential. And then you look at the Eagles, and yes, are they a great team? I understand that. They should be blowing out teams that they are better than. But when they finally play good teams, they struggled. And I think that's one thing they had to adjust. And just both South divisions were just god-awful.
So obviously, the NFL season ended with Super Bowl 57 between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. It was an incredible game. People say one of the best Super Bowls of all time. Super Bowl 42 was the best Super Bowl of all time. Let's pump the brakes here a second. But yes, it was a great game between two high-powered offenses. There weren't a whole lot of defensive great plays to talk about. I mean, even the scoop fumble for the touchdown, they didn't do anything. Jalen Hurts just dropped the ball. It wasn't some great defensive play. I mean, whoever that was.
It was.
Borton, something like that. Nick Bolton.
Nick Bolton.
He gets a touchdown in the Super Bowl basically for free.
Yeah, right place, right time kind of thing. Almost had to, but, it is what it is. But either way, yeah, no. Really
there
only
weren't too many great defensive plays. Besides, I guess, when Philly was forced to go for a field goal, when they had 3rd and 5 inside, their own red zone, them having to go for the field goal there really was the turning point of the game, because then Kansas City went back, scored a touchdown, and never really looked back from that lead. And yes, there was a controversial call at the end of the game. It was the one fucking thing I was hoping wouldn't happen to end this Super Bowl, because then we wouldn't hear about the end of it for the next however long, because no matter who would have won this game, y'all would have fucking said it was rigged anyway. So like, I don't even know what rigged means anymore, because you'll say it's rigged no matter who wins the game. But
oh yeah. Because if the Chiefs didn't get that call, they would have been like, "Oh, it's rigged. They want Philly to win."
There was a holding. Why didn't they call that? There's no way.
And then what actually happened? Yeah, you're never going to please everyone. Like at the end of the day, you're either a Super Bowl winner or you're a Super Bowl loser. Like it sucks. No one likes to lose. Again,
and the Philadelphia Eagles played a fantastic game. More specifically in the first half than the second half. I do think Andy Reid definitely outcoached Nick Sirianni in the second half, like 100%. And I don't even think that's very arguable. And Nick Sirianni didn't coach bad in the second half at all. It's not like he pulled a Dan Campbell in the second half. I mean, he did really well in the second half of that game.
Oh, yeah.
But Andy Reid was just better, and the Kansas City Chiefs were just better. That's all it was.
He did get a little, I guess, somewhat more conservative. He was a little not as like in the first half. He was like super aggressive, going for it on 4th down, going for like a lot of QB sneaks. I mean, they were working on like 3rd and short distance. Like it was working. I don't know why they just stopped being so aggressive. I think if they stayed aggressive, could they have still won? Maybe. You don't know until it actually happened. So I think he let out the gas a little too quickly and just kind of just hoped his defense would step up, and they couldn't. I mean, it's hard to stop a Chiefs offense like that.
And I know I've said a lot of bad things about Philadelphia all season long, and I still hate Philadelphia. I mean, don't get me wrong. But there's not a whole lot of players on this team that I don't like all that much. I mean, Jalen Hurts, great player. Jason Kelce, great player. After Super Bowl 57, Dallas Goedert, definitely earned some respect.
AJ
Brown, I mean, I liked him better as a Titan than an Eagle. And Devontae Smith, I wish he was drafted to the Giants, but obviously it didn't happen that way. Same with Micah Parsons. I mean, on the Cowboys, I really wish the Giants had got Micah Parsons. But
you were between two.
I know, it was so bad. And they ended up, I don't even remember who we drafted. I think it was Kadarius Toney, actually. I'm pretty sure it was.
He got a ring.
Yeah, well, either way, Kansas City Chiefs win Super Bowl 57. Hats off to them. It was a great season by them. They definitely proved a lot of people wrong. I know they proved us wrong. We both had them in second place in the AFC West and losing at some point in the playoffs, not making the Super Bowl. So definitely proved a lot of people wrong this season, proved that they are the number one team in the league, and Patrick Mahomes is our new number one quarterback, like hands down. We said this with there's the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow conversation going around between these three quarterbacks and who's the best. And then, Justin Herbert's over there like, hey, I'm here too. Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, they were kind of here and here. And then late in this season, we kind of learned that Joe Burrow was here and Josh Allen is still somewhere around here. And we were thinking, maybe it's Mahomes and Burrow. But then Mahomes was like, nah, I'm still here. You guys are still down here. So
he is the best quarterback in the league. It is not even close. Patrick Mahomes on one leg better than 32 or 31 other starting quarterbacks.
So, speaking of the GOAT, I guess, since, we're not putting Mahomes in that conversation quite yet. He's still a little bit young. Still a lot of career to go. But either way, he's definitely on the right path. But we have somebody who ended his career at the end of this season. We actually could have probably talked about this in the Super Bowl special because this happened a few weeks ago, so we've had some time to digest this. But Tom Brady, who many deem as the greatest of all time to play in the NFL, has officially retired after winning more Super Bowls than any other franchise, yes, all 32 of them, in the NFL. Like, he's got more Super Bowls than all of them. So, it was a great career. You can argue stats and system quarterback and, right position, good plays, good time, whatever the case may be. But it's hard to argue with 7 rings. That's the funniest thing to me is that I get the argument with Peyton Manning being like the greatest regular season quarterback of all time and Joe Montana having better Super Bowl stats than Tom Brady. I get all that. But in basketball, y'all will put Jordan on some pedestal because he won 6. And nothing that LeBron or Kobe or anybody could do will match Jordan until they win 6 rings. And I don't understand fans sometimes. I think
sports
it's just
fans
are just getting bad lately.
And I hate to say it this way because it sounds ageist or whatever. Like, I think it's like the older fans are like, they'll never be as good as like the quarterback that I grew up watching. So who knows? Maybe I hope I'm never like this, but maybe, 20, 30 years down the road, someone's like, oh, is this quarterback better than when you saw Mahomes? And I'm like, no one's ever better than Mahomes. I'm hoping I never get to that point. I really do, because you got to appreciate the quarterbacks by the era. But again, Brady, yes, was he put in a good situation? Sure. Did he have great defenses? Sure, whatever. You still got to win the game. You still got to win the football game at the end of the day. So I still think he's the GOAT. If you want to argue that, sure, whatever. I find it hard to argue against that, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like you said, it's hard to argue against 7 rings.
I just want to reiterate this again. He won 6 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. 6 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. That tied the Pittsburgh Steelers, and wasn't there one other team in Dallas, maybe? Or no?
I think that's it.
I think that's it. That had 6. Steelers are the only ones with 6. So he tied the New England Patriots with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the most Super Bowls out of any franchises in the NFL. Then he went to Tampa and won another Super Bowl. So now Tom Brady himself has 7, but the teams that have the most Super Bowls in franchise history only have 6. I just wanted to reiterate that again. The other thing I wanted to reiterate is there were only 17 quarterbacks this season that had over 3,000 passing yards out of 32 starting teams. And obviously there were some teams that had more than one quarterback play throughout the regular season. But only 17 quarterbacks eclipsed 3,000 yards this season passing the football. Tom Brady had more than 3,000 yards passing in just Super Bowls. Just the 10 Super Bowls that he made. So, hats off to Tom Brady. He was the GOAT in both of our opinions, but yes, his career comes to an end, and it is definitely going to be weird watching the NFL next year without players Tom Brady was the last one. We don't have Tom Brady anymore. We don't have Drew Brees anymore. Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Phil Rivers. They're all gone. So moving on to some other quarterbacks that are moving on, but not quite in the same field. Actually, you know what? What we were going to do was we were going to talk about all the free agent quarterbacks and where they might go. But there's just one specific team that really, really needs a quarterback. So we're going to play a little quarterback carousel with Ben here and try to figure out who's going to be the Atlanta Falcons quarterback going into next season. So, obviously, we're going to... I would like to hear from you which one you would like out of all of these quarterbacks. and then which one you think is most realistic to happen going into Atlanta. So we're going to start. I'm going to give you the list of quarterbacks that are the biggest names in the league right now. Obviously, there's going to be some other lower name quarterbacks that
could be, but
who really cares? But these are the main quarterbacks that are probably not going to be playing for the same team next year, or if they are going to be playing for the team next year, they're going to have to dish out some money at Lamar Jackson. Let's start with, obviously, Derek Carr. He's, like I just said, he is leaving the Pro Bowl. He's leaving the Pro Bowl. He's leaving the Raiders after his little show at the Pro Bowl is your first option to be the Atlanta Falcons quarterback next season. We'll throw Lamar Jackson in there just because I know that's going to be your answer for the want category. But, yeah, I mean, if the Baltimore Ravens don't want to dish out the money for Lamar Jackson, he is a free agent. So it is a possibility. Aaron Rodgers, we go through this fucking cycle again with Aaron Rodgers with the Green Bay Packers. Is he going to stay with the Packers? Is he going to leave the Packers? Is he going to retire? I don't know, but he spent a few days in darkness to fucking think about it. So that makes you feel good about his decision. Jimmy Garoppolo, another option. Obviously, he's not going to be a San Francisco 49er next season. There's just no room for him at this point. I think Brock Purdy's their guy, and I feel bad for Trey Lance at this point. He really hasn't gotten a chance to show himself, but Ryan Tannehill, I think, is a very realistic option for Atlanta. I do think that there's a good chance that Tennessee holds on to him at the same time because I don't see
it depends on how they feel about Malik Willis.
That
I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, the draft is very top heavy for quarterbacks. So Ben, who would you want to go to the Atlanta Falcons, and who would you? Oh, and I guess technically Daniel Jones I can throw in there because the Giants haven't signed him yet. So who do you want, and who do you think is realistic for the Atlanta Falcons?
I'm gonna just throw out already Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he'll go to Atlanta. I mean, it could surprise me, but if
Aaron Rodgers goes anywhere but Green Bay, he's going to Vegas. 100%.
I think he's going to Vegas or the Jets. Follow that Brett Favre path. The good news is for the quarterback that I do want, we already know where this is going. Atlanta has the second most salary cap heading into this offseason. So they can pay Lamar. So, okay, just get out of the way. I would love if Lamar was the quarterback for Atlanta.
Yes. I mean, that would be nasty. You guys have a very unique offense, I should say.
It's a very run-heavy offense, which is fine. You know, they got, I think it's Allinger, the rookie last year. He was solid. You got Drake London, a solid young wide receiver. Patterson, yeah. Or they trade him and get some thing for him. I mean, you never know. Kyle Pitts, if he stays healthy, and Lamar does throw his tight end, so maybe that'll mean good in fantasy.
Actually get production. Yeah.
I think the only issue is the O-line still isn't the best, and the defense.
I think your only issue is Baltimore is not gonna fucking let him go. I think that's your only issue.
I think they'll let him go if he doesn't want to go there. If Lamar wants out, he'll get his way out because even if they franchise tag him, he'll still want his way out. So I think if Lamar is on the move, I think Atlanta is a solid spot for him. Yes, I am very biased in my opinion, but I do think it has the pieces there. I wouldn't be opposed to Derek Carr because worst case scenario, we sign him to like a 2-year deal and he actually mentors Desmond Ritter.
See, I think if you go the Carr or even Garoppolo route, you're going the bridge route, where you're either going to draft somebody at the same time or you're going to really develop Ritter.
Which I think he can develop. I think he was just in an unfortunate situation. I do think if they go with Carr or Garoppolo, it's strictly bridge quarterback / mentor Ritter. Hopefully mentor Ritter. But yeah, who I think will most likely be the quarterback, I think it'll either still be Ritter, and they just say, here are the keys, try your best kind of thing. Or I think they draft someone with the 8th overall pick.
Really?
Or they try and trade.
Really? I think you guys are getting Garoppolo because I think he's the smartest choice because Tannehill's already proven he's not going to mentor anybody.
I wouldn't even say he's the smartest. I think he's just the safest because like you know what you're getting with him.
Exactly. And I think he would be the best one to mentor. I think he'd be the most... I think he'd just be the most likely to mentor somebody. I don't see Derek Carr as a mentor type. No. Tannehill's already proven he's not a mentor type. Rodgers has already proven he's not a mentor type. I think Garoppolo is the smartest option. Ritter.
If you get Lamar, they're probably just going to trade Ritter.
So let's finish out season 3. This long and winded season finally coming to an end. Sad to say this is the final segment, the final thing to talk about for season 3, and it is our early predictions for season 4. I don't want to sit here and go through each division and all that, but just who do you think are going to be some of the best teams in the NFC and the AFC? And then obviously give me your early Super Bowl 58 prediction for matchup. And you can give me the winner if you want to.
Depending on the quarterback situation, I'm going to just safely say 49ers are the third best team in the NFC, purely because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if it's Trey Lance. We don't know if it's Purdy, because Purdy's going to be out potentially for who knows how long, because he's getting basically Tommy John surgery, so we don't know. Plus, we don't know how well he might be after that, which is really scary because he's a young quarterback. So they have a good team, so I'm going to just safely say at 3 for now. I would probably say second best if Rodgers stays, I think potentially them, but I think based on scheduling, I think maybe Minnesota still stays second best. And I think the best team in the NFC is still Philly. No matter what, I still think Philly's the best team. And then I think for the AFC, I think it's in order. I think it's Chiefs, Bengals, Bills. Like, literally in that order, it's Chiefs, Bengals, Bills. Nothing will change that unless, like, something drastic happens between any of those three teams. I think it's that order, not changing that. Just add to this alone, I have it being Niners, Chiefs. Again, depending on what happens, I do think the Niners still have a very good team. I think just got really unlucky with injuries. I have Niners, Chiefs, a rematch of Super Bowl 54, 56, whatever one it was in Miami. And I had to go with the Chiefs winning that one purely because I'm more comfortable with what they have.
So obviously I agree with you on your top teams. I mean, if anything, I think Dallas could sneak their way in there over Minnesota, or, I mean, even San Francisco if it came down to injuries, or if Brock Purdy doesn't turn out in year 2, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But I do see Dallas potentially sneaking their way in there. And, you know, AFC side of the football, I agree with those three teams as well. The only other teams I could see sneaking their way in there, you know, if the Chargers get themselves a competent coach, they're going to be dangerous.
I agree.
If Sean Payton does half the job that these NFL experts expect him to do, the Denver Broncos could be dangerous. So the Chiefs are going to have a tougher task this season, or this upcoming season, than we thought they were even going to have this previous season. And it turned out to be slightly easier than we had originally anticipated. But I think next year we're actually going to see the real side of the ugly side of the AFC West. So I do think that the Chargers and the Broncos can sneak their way into, you know, potentially even an AFC West crown. But, you know, it's hard to count out the Chiefs in any way, shape, or form after the performance that they just put on, not only in the Super Bowl, but this entire season. And obviously the Jacksonville Jaguars are the other team that I think that they really came around at the end of last season. And that's something that we saw with the Cincinnati Bengals at the end of their first year, really, with Joe Burrow. Like, they really started to come around towards the end of the season. You know, look where they are now. So I do think the Jacksonville Jaguars have a tremendous season next season. Potentially could even wind up with the number 1 seed in the AFC, strictly because they're going to kill everybody in their division. That's what I have for that. As far as Super Bowl predictions, it's so tough when a season just ends, because there's so many things that are going to happen this offseason that, you know, we could deem as not very important that turn out to be huge next season, or things that we think are huge that turn out to be not so important. The Chiefs are still top dog in the AFC, so I have to go with the Chiefs as my AFC pick. And then on the NFC side of the football, it's whoever stays healthy. I mean, at this point, it really is whoever stays healthy. And I almost hate to say it, but who in the NFC is better than Philly? Like, who? I agree. It's really tough to say. So we very well could get a rematch next season. And if it were to happen, dude, Philly beat them. I really do think Philly, if these teams were to play 10 times, I think they'd each win 5. And it's not just because I don't even think Jalen Hurts is quite at the level of Mahomes yet or anything like that. But he has so much talent around him. That Eagles team has so much talent. And yes, in the next couple of years, they're going to start taking a few steps back because the salary cap is going to catch up to them. They're going to have to start paying some of these young players. But for right now, and at least going into next season, they're not really going to lose anybody. I really do think that Philly could be our Super Bowl 58 champions. So I appreciate everybody who has watched season 3 all season long. I wish I had some like sort of viewing stats to give to you guys, but you know, we definitely gained a few new subscribers this season in season 3. So anyone who has come and joined our channel and has liked what they saw and hit the subscribe button, we definitely appreciate you a lot. And if you guys haven't hit the subscribe button yet, we would really appreciate if you did, and turn on that notification bell to be notified whenever we post or go live. Like I said, I do go live on YouTube at least once a week. I'm going to try to start doing that more now that Nick's Picks is over, but I'm also going to try to start getting some other videos out there as well in between season 3 and season 4. But don't worry, season 4 is right around the corner. Ben is, you know, whether he wants to or not, coming back to lose for a 4th time in a row. So
you just had to dig it in there.
So I appreciate you guys watching our season 3 recap and all of season 3. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like on the video. And like I said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ben, is there anything you want to say before we head out of here?
We're still recording, right?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I don't think we didn't get to mention this though. By the way, this is because, well, we did mention this when I wasn't recording earlier. But this is your first video in your
my new apartment
area. Yes, Ben's new and his last face cam video on my channel for the next like 4 months. So congratulations, you did great. Unless I do some like weird video in between here and there, or until Ben's YouTube video starts.
We'll get there, okay?
But either way, guys, when that happens, be sure to subscribe over on Ben's channel and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you guys in season 4. Thank you for watching season 3 all season long, and we'll see you guys next season. Have a great one. Peace.
What was that?
I went to I don't know, dude. I forgot to record the first half of this fucking video, and then everything was just kind of off ever since then. What if I said you were muted this whole time?
Well, in that case, I can say whatever the fuck I want. So fuck the Giants. I'm just kidding. No, I actually like the Giants at least somewhat. Daniel Jones might get overpaid though. Anyways, bye guys.
Saquon might get overpaid, if anything.
Oh, he's 100% getting over. He's 100% getting overpaid.